Today I want to show you an easy way to handle the orc raids that happen in Grounded 2. So real quick, the way the orc raids happen is you'll get a notification in the morning. I think it's around like 8 a.m. in the morning that you're going to get raided that night. They do seem to occur every 3 nights once you start getting them. And they will attack you, not your base. So wherever you are in the map, wherever you are in the world when they occur, that's where you'll get attacked. What I've done is I've created a base here that makes them super easy, and I'll kind of walk you through each part of this and let you know how you can actually fight the raids and how you can actually make them super easy if you just don't even want to have to deal with them. If you end up finding this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for more content just like this. So I will recommend that you use this primarily against the raids that happen after you've completed the first mixer. The first mixer is underneath the skateboard, which I think might actually be in view of this place here. It's close by. The skateboard is in the grasslands area. It is actually over here. Let's just turn on the wonders. So the mixer right here, the one that's underneath the skateboard, once you've completed that one, you'll start getting the second set of raids, which are related to the mixer that's over in the greenhouse area. I have not completed the greenhouse mixer yet. The reason I have not completed that yet is because I'm farming raw science. Why is it important to farm raw science? Raw science is needed to upgrade your Omni tool. It's also needed to purchase things from the science shop. I have found that by just playing the game, you will not get enough raw science to unlock everything. So what I've been doing is I've been farming raw science. I currently have a 7,180. I have already purchased everything from the science shop. I have also upgraded the Omni tool upgrades as far as they can go with the current content. My plan is to probably get that number to between 15 and 20,000 before I stop. At this point, I've analyzed everything. I've done all the story quests. I've done all of the quests that are in the checklist. There's 58 of them. The only thing I have not done that I know gives raw science is the second mixer, which I believe probably gives like around, it's either 500 or 1,000, somewhere around there. But I want to get between 15,000 and 20,000. The reason for that is coming into this most recent update, I had a little over 13,000 raw science, and I ended up running out and not having enough to get everything doing all the content. So I now have extra and I'm good to go. But what I plan on doing, like I said, I'm going to farm extra raw science. The other benefit of doing these raids is you can actually get bug parts if you kill the mobs from it. You can get orc receivers, and you can also get gold cards if that's something you want to do. So real quick, what I want to do is I want to show you how this actually works. So I am right here on the map. I am in front of the statue. To do this, you're going to have to make sure you've cleared out all the orc bugs here. Once you kill the orc bugs here and you progress the story, they just never spawn again, and this area just has nothing in it. The only thing that's going to spawn over here is going to be a bunch of feathers. It's a really good spot for farming feathers, and there's actually a couple upgrade rocks in here as well. So what I normally do is I have been standing down in this area right here, and if you want to just fight the orc raids, legitimately, you can just stand here. They'll spawn on the ground, and you can fight them. There are 2 different variations of the raids, though. There are ground and there are flyer. So if you want to get the flyer version, you'll actually want to go up here where I've built. So I tested this out yesterday, and when I stood up here, I got the flyer version. The current way the raids work is there's 5 different difficulty levels, and once you get to the 5th level, it'll be the same raids over and over again. With the current one that I'm doing, I get the orc cockroach queen, I get some black soldier ants, and I get some earwigs. The flyer version was a butterfly, a mosquito, a wasp, and a wasp drone. So depending on what you want to farm, you can kind of do that. I honestly find it easier to do the one that's on the ground, because then I actually don't have to fight anything. So no matter what you're doing, if you want to do this the easiest way, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to just stand down here somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter. Once you get the notification, they spawn in, and I will show you this because tonight I'm actually getting raided. So once you get the notification that they're coming, which happens when the clock actually hits 20 up here, which will be, I believe that's 8 p.m. So once it hits 20, it'll be 8 p.m. You'll get a notification that the raid's happening immediately, and then a few seconds later, the mobs will spawn in. If you want to fight them legitimately, you can stand here. If you want to fight them using the turret, you can hop over here inside of this little turret here. And the way it's built, you will be able to shoot the mobs underneath of here, and they shouldn't be able to get in. I put spike traps in there just to guarantee they can't get in. You can kill them pretty quickly. I've been using the pebblet ammo. I know a friend of mine was using the spiky ammo, which maybe kills them a little bit faster. So you can kind of mess around with which ammos you want to use. But that's a legitimate way of killing them without really taking much damage. And honestly, the one time I did this, they damaged some of the walls here, but they didn't actually break any of them, so I just had to repair. So that was super easy. The way I've normally been doing, however, is I wait for the raid to spawn, I run up here, jump up on my little bounce web up here, and what this does is let me get up top. Now, You can also fight them legitimately up here using either a staff or a bow. I would recommend the staff because it's going to just be much easier to kill them. What they'll do is they'll congregate down here in this little area. This spot is high enough that they think they can reach you, but they can't. So you actually can just keep hitting them and they will not despawn. If you want to do it really easily, which is kind of the way I'm going to show it when I actually get the raid, is you just kind of come up here on top of this platform after they spawned in. You stand here and wait a few seconds and they will slowly despawn and you will get the full raw science credit. The only downside being you won't be able to get any of the bug parts or orc receivers, or you won't be able to farm gold cards. So the choice is up to you on how you want to do this, but in my opinion, the easiest way of doing it is literally just coming up here and fighting them with a staff, or just standing up there and doing it where they spawn in and then just despawn and you get free raw science. In terms of what else I put over here, put the crash pad here just so I can jump down without really taking damage. This is completely optional. I put the dew collector over here so I don't have to worry about water. And I do have a bed set up in the cup over here. So I set my spawn point here in case for some reason I end up dying. So we got our little bed back here. And then other than that, I just have lights around here so I can actually see the mobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the raid occur, which is going to be happening in approximately 5.5 hours in game. And I will show you exactly how it goes. I guess while we're waiting, I can also show you the mutations I've been using. So what I've been using for this is obviously I want to use Guard Dog, because if you're actually fighting them, you want to use Guard Dog because that's going to let you do extra damage to them after having completed a mixer. I have one Natural Explorer because I've been using the method where I run up to the top. So this, as long as I haven't attacked them, I still get Natural Explorer. I just run up to the top and it lets me get up there faster. Trapper Peeper is going to be for extra critical damage. And then I just use Cardio Fan because it lets you get your stamina back. If you're spamming the staff, it is going to take... it'll take a decent amount of time to actually kill them. And for my weapon and armor, you can actually use... I've been using the Mantis armor, and I've been using... The trinket I've been using is the Bale Scale. This is going to give you Candy Overload, so this literally just gives you more damage with the staves. For the raid that I've been getting, since it's... I've been using the Wither Sting, which is the one that does... This is the staff that does sour damage. You can... I've also messed around with the Heat Wave, so the cockroaches... This is good against the cockroaches, and the... Well, actually, I guess it doesn't. This is good against the earwigs. The heat wave is better against the black ants. I think the cockroach queen is neutral to both of them, so it doesn't really matter. I've just been using this. I usually drop a heavy attack and then just start spamming it. This is going to give extra damage on top of it. And I've been using the Mantis armor. If you want to really min-max, you could use the snake armor, which is the snake scale armor that you get from harvesting these scales off of the back of the snake. And that'll just kind of kill them a little bit faster. But that's kind of the setup I'm using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the clock run a little bit forward, and then we will show you the raid and exactly how it plays out. All right, I'm about 20 seconds or so from having the raid occur. Like I said, when this hits 20, which will be 8 p.m., the mass stranger will make the announcement, and then a few seconds later, the mobs are going to spawn in. Once again, what I'm going to be doing this time is I'm going to be running up here and getting up top and just kind of showing you how easy this is to either cheese or actually fully cheese by not fighting them. So we're just going to stand here. She's going to make... There's her announcement just occurred. And then once the mobs spawn in, I'm just going to quickly turn around and run away. All right, they should be spawning any second now. And there they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly run up here. Get all the way up top. You can see there's the mobs. And like I said, what you can do is you can just stand here and actually attack them if you really want to. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going all the way up top of here, and eventually they should despawn. Now, I'm going to stand... I believe they should despawn pretty quickly. I will say one thing I didn't mention earlier. If you're actually going to fight them, you probably should bring like the ladybug or the Weaver buggy just as being a distraction, even especially when if you're trying to kill them from up here, because it'll keep them alive longer. But what you'll notice is eventually they will slowly despawn. She's not aggro to me at all. If she was aggro, she'd be like flapping her wings and stuff, so she shouldn't... I assume she thinks I'm not here anymore. So I don't know if any of the other ones have started despawning. They will eventually despawn over time. Looks like there's 3 earwigs, 2 black soldier ants, and there goes the cockroach queen despawned. I will say, honestly, I'm probably going to get rid of this because I'm not going to use the turret for this. I'm either going to kill them from up here or just stand here. And you'll notice they are slowly despawning one by one. Once the last one despawns, I should get 450 raw science without having to have attacked any of them. Another one looks like it just despawned. So it looks like there's 1 black soldier ant left, and he will eventually despawn. At some point, he's taking his good old time. He knows that I'm not here and he can't reach me. and he will despawn, hopefully quickly. I've never actually timed how long it takes for it to despawn, but I should get 450 raw science once it decides to respawn. If for some reason it doesn't respawn, I could easily kill it because there's only one of them. But I really have no reason to do that. This guy is just taking quite a bit there. So there it is. You saw remaining payback lost interest. I got 450 raw science and I won. So that is literally the easiest raw science. Like I said, if you want to kill them, you can stand here. This just happens to be, I think, about the perfect height that you can kill them and they won't de-aggro. But if you want them to de-aggro, just build up a couple of blocks and you can just get the free raw science. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button. Consider subscribing for more content just like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.